I was a little concerned about preaching today, as there are a few references to a perfect wife. Who can I find her? And I know that Julie's at home watching this, and I thought I'd best give it a bit of a wide berth and perhaps just concentrate on the gospel. I do, in fact, know somebody that put an advert in a local paper advertising for the perfect husband. And the following day, she had 100 replies, all saying the same thing: "You can have mine." I'm sure that many guys would say that joke works both ways, but there you go. So moving on quickly to today's gospel. A rich man delegates the management of his wealth to his servants, much as investors in today's markets do. He gives 5 talents, which was a large sum of money, to the first servant, 2 to the second, and 1 talent to the third. 2 of the servants double their original amount by trading with the funds, but the third servant hides the money in the ground and earns nothing. The rich man returns and he rewards the 2 who made money, but severely punishes the servant who did nothing. The meaning of this parable is clear in terms of money, but extends far beyond any financial advice. Jesus is encouraging us to look deeper. God has given each one of us a wide variety of gifts and talents. And just like the 3 servants, we're different. And we don't share the same amount or type of gifts. These gifts that have been freely given by God for us to use are so precious. And I think it's right that on our part, there should be some sort of expectation for us to use them in his service. It's certainly not acceptable merely to just ignore them. 508 years ago, on the 1st of November 1512, Michelangelo's magnificent fresco paintings on the ceilings of the Sistine Chapel were revealed to the public. He was only asked to paint the 12 apostles, but he went further. For 4 years, Michelangelo, during one of the most challenging times of his life, worked hard, lying on his back to paint the ceiling, cramped in a small space between the high scaffold and the roof. When the work was actually opened, the whole world wanted to see it. He had painted this most remarkable work, and he translated his frustrations and worries into beauty and joy to glorify God. We are not all brilliant artists, but surely it is right that our return to God is corresponding and equal in accordance with the gifts that we have been given. The servant who received 1 talent was not condemned for failing to make a profit. He was condemned because he did nothing with what he was given. The gifts we receive from God include our skills, our connections, social positions, education, personality, intelligence, experience, and so much more. The demise of the wasteful servant tells us that we should invest our lives and talents into the service of God. So many volunteers invest and live this out on a daily basis, just as the business person who provides jobs for others and parents who lovingly raise their children. Returning to Michelangelo, as I've already said, he painted this most remarkable work during one of the most challenging times in his life. We are now in a second national lockdown as a country, a challenging time in our lives. In all of our homes this year, we continue to experience lockdown in different ways. You may have asked yourself, What can I do to keep active? How can I make good use of this time? You may have done a great deal of thinking about how this year has gone and how the year is now ending. How will it feel like when we move into the season of Advent, into the colder winter months? And of course, you may also have thought about how Christmas will be for you and your family. All the readings today, from the first reading through to the psalm and to the second reading, point us towards hope for something better to come. The readings invite us to realize that even in this challenging time, it will pass and the COVID-19 pandemic will become history one day. We all pray that this happens soon. We've all got talents in us to help others in this difficult time, and talents that we can use to glorify God. These God-given talents could inspire, bless, and give hope and joy to many. When we were created by a loving God, the prophet Jeremiah reminds us that God said, "I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." In line with this, I invite you all to carry out 3 tasks this week. Task 1. Take time to reflect on something good that you have done. Task 2. Think about something good somebody has done for you and that really moved you. And finally, task 3. Go to Jesus in prayer and ask him to help you identify the talents, the gifts he has given to you, and ask the Lord to inspire you to create something with your gifts that will bless others and glorify God.